Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Get on over here, 902. Good morning to all of you. Getting hot down here. We got a great show for all of you today. Coming up in just, 17 minutes or so. Who's counting? Rocky Pardo joins us. She's going to be filling us in on the latest from her career. She's a fantastic artist and makes this wonderful jewelry pieces. She's got a couple of upcoming events, and we're going to get all of the latest. Then at 10:30, the one, the only, Denis Sparks joins us in studio. We're going to have a great conversation with Denise, now offering roll-off the truck dumpster services. Really cool, and keeps us efficient and keeps us moving. She'll be joining us for the latest at 10:30. But, oh, by the way, we got a couple of really cool interviews coming up in the next couple of weeks, and ones that you're going to want to stay tuned to. We got a booked show for the next couple of days. Life's looking good in the 618. Here's what's happening around the Riverbend, though, at 9:04. Here's what you need to know. Sign up for that daily email update, and you'll never miss out. You can join myself and 70,000 people that are in the know each and every day of the work week and on Saturdays with Around the Riverbend. You can also download this show on your Roku TV, and you can join the 40,000 plus that have us downloaded and watching us whenever they get the chance to. We'll take you to SIUE first in Edwardsville as a whole. That fire at an off-campus apartment complex in Edwardsville has left several SIUE students displaced, with many losing or experiencing damage to their belongings. The incident, which occurred in the 100th block of Devon Court, has prompted a call for community support to aid the affected students. The SIUE Student Emergency Fund has been activated to assist those facing unexpected challenges, providing immediate relief to ensure they can recover and continue their education. The university stresses the importance of community solidarity and urges individuals to donate by contacting the SIUE Alumni Association at 618-650-2760. That's 618-650-2760, or email siuealumni@siue.edu. This is to help those displaced students from that Devon Court apartment fire. Also in the news, so many area parents concerned about this in East Alton. The East Alton Elementary Administration informed families on Monday morning, September the 16th, about potential threat rumors within the student body. Here's what we know. They were reported to the East Alton Police Department Sunday night. Superintendent Nancy Worden stated that no specific date, time, or students at the time of the posting of this article have been identified so far. We are working to actively keep you updated. The school is actively investigating the situation to ensure safety. Law enforcement was present to provide increased security. Authorities urge students and parents to remain vigilant and report any threat-related information immediately to both law enforcement and the school district. The safety of the children remain the school district's top priority. Also in the news today, Madison County is now accepting applications for the Low-Income Energy Assistance Program, also known as LIHEAP, starting on October the 1st. Now, this program aims to help income-eligible households with natural gas, propane, electric bills, and furnace assistance for inoperable heating systems. Initially, adults 60 years and older, individuals with disabilities, families with children under 6, and households with utility disconnections options or low propane will be prioritized. All other income eligible households can start applying November the 1st. Applications are first come, first serve until August 15th of next year. That's August 15th of 2025. Or funds until the funds are depleted. Applicants must provide required documentation and meet income guidelines. You can visit LIHEAP Illinois.com. That's LIHEAP Illinois.com for more details. In regional news today, the St. Louis County Medical Examiner has ruled the death of 16-year-old Amaron Fuller as a homicide on Friday, September the 13th. A 15-year-old male suspect was arrested in connection with the incident and is now in custody of the St. Louis County Family Court, facing charges of murder in the second degree and armed criminal action. Here's what we know. The shooting occurred on the 300th block of Gates Avenue, where police found Fuller with a fatal gunshot wound. The investigation currently ongoing. Anyone with information is urged to contact the St. Louis County Police Department or Crime Stoppers to remain anonymous and potentially receive a reward. Also in the news today, 2 RE/MAX Alliance employees and local firefighters played pivotal roles in responding to a devastating fire on Friday, September the 13th at that Devon Court complex in Edwardsville. Nikki McCormick and Katie Clay, working at their office across the street, immediately raced to the scene to alert residents by knocking on doors and windows. Edwardsville Fire Chief James Whiteford praised their timely actions. Despite typically advising against civilian involvement, firefighters faced significant challenges, including a roof collapse, but managed to control the blaze, ensuring residential safety. The SIUE Alumni Association once again aiding in displaced students, and the collaborative efforts just a testament to that community spirit. But the local heroes there, the 2 RE/MAX Alliance employees playing a pivotal role with the firefighters on that Friday the 13th blaze. Belleville police have arrested Michael G. Muni, 74, in the connection of a criminal sexual assault and child pornography investigation following a report from the mother of a juvenile victim on September the 10th. Here's the latest. The 15-year-old male victim had been spending time at Muni's residence, where a family member allegedly observed Muni engaging in lewd acts with the juvenile. The victim and his mother sought medical treatment, and police promptly arrested Muni. The St. Clair County State's Attorney's Office has charged Muni on the charges in several felonies. Belleville police believe there may be additional victims and are urging parents to contact them with any more details. And once again, the arrest of Michael Muni, 74 years of age, in connection with a criminal sexual assault and child pornography investigation. Belleville police believe there may be additional victims and are urging parents to contact the police department. Also in the news today, Lewis and Clark Community College has recently welcomed 2 new full-time faculty members, Andrew Carrington and John Phillips. Andrew Carrington, a web design and development instructor from Edwardsville, brings a rich background in software engineering and a passion for AI. He aims to foster continuous learning and engagement both inside and outside the classroom. John Phillips, the new coordinator of child development and education programs, holds extensive experience in early childhood education and higher education leadership. Phillips is enthusiastic about creating hands-on learning experiences and building student confidence. Both educators committed to enriching their respective programs. Couple of more news stories for you in the news today. Choices Ministry will host its 2nd annual Music in the Park event on Saturday, October the 12th at Haskell Park in Alton, featuring a special guest, Miracle Girl Stella Schultz. From 3 to 5 p.m., community members can enjoy a free contemporary Christian music concert. Stella, who received a heart transplant about a month ago after 8 months at Children's Hospital, will be present with her mother, Carrie, who will share their faith-filled journey. Choices Ministry, committed to sharing God's love through music and life experiences, raised $5,000 for Stella during a fundraiser concert just 2 months ago. The event aims to inspire hope and courage among attendees. Finally, in the news this morning, in local sports, Bella Peterball has kicked off the cross-country season with impressive performances, including a 23:31:50 finish for 3 miles at the Granite City Robinson Lane Cross Country Invite on the 7th of September. Wow, what a time. This follows a successful track and field season where she clocked 13.26 in the 100 meters and recognized now as a Sparklight Female Athlete of the Month for Jersey. Peterball, known for her versatility in sports, participating in soccer and track and field as well. She cherishes the camaraderie in cross country, likening her team to a family and viewing running as a lifelong passion. But what great times, and congratulations to Bella Peterball for being a Sparklight Female Athlete of the Month for Jerseyville. At 9:13, let's look at weather, shall we? 74 degrees. It's going to be a little warmer out there today. Humidity is 68%. It feels like 78 today. Mostly sunny, very warm, and less humid. Tonight, clear. Right now, air quality is at moderate at 51. Grass levels are moderate as well at 12. Mold is low. Ragweed is moderate at 30. The tree levels are low. The UV index is high. Now, temperatures will reach 89 degrees today. They'll drop down to 55 overnight as we head into Wednesday. On Wednesday, a high of 89, yet again a low of 57 degrees. On Thursday, a high of 90 awaits us, a low of 64 degrees. And on Friday, a high of 88, a low of 64. On Saturday, we start the weekend with a high of 86, a low of 67 degrees. And that's the look at the next 5 days. There's a little bit of it looks like a thunder system brewing over Florissant, and that's going to be about it in terms of any type of precipitation or anything like that. And it's just going to be dry as a bone for the next 5 days. So just get a little last taste of summer before fall creeps around the corner. For a look at weather throughout the day in real time all the time, RiverBender.com/weather, or call 618-465-4545. This time powered by Bounce Back, Rehab, Recover, and Return Home. Before we take a quick break, let me fill you in on Village Dispensary, where good times are awaiting you, and so are your best buds, pun intended. You know what, Village Dispensary, everyday special, like today, Tuesday, it's Tasty Tuesday, where you could save big on edibles. On Wednesday, it's all about getting waxy with some deals on concentrates. And on Thursdays, get a little thirsty, where you got some big savings on the drinks that are available, the drinks mixtures over there at Village. It's really great. You know, I was never a big drink guy when it came to the THC, but now Village has got me changing my tune. On Fridays, you can save big on flour, and then on Saturdays, stop on in and save big on the Aero carts. And I'm telling you, I was just talking to them the other day. They say those are flying off the shelves, and I think it's because you're listening to me. Listen, everyday special when you go into Village Dispensary, locally owned and really just community-focused, union-built, and all about quality. When you stop in, you're going to see an inventory that makes Snoop Dogg blush. Go to villagedispo.com, place your order today, and don't forget to tell them that you know who sent you over, because it's a joint effort. That's Village Dispensary or villagedispo.com. Hey, it's 9:15. When we come back, we'll talk to Rocky Pardo and company, and we'll have just some fun on a Tuesday morning. But you're listening to RiverBender.com on Roku TV, RiverBender.com, and all the social media platforms that this thing simulcasts on. When, you know, we'll take a look at downtown Alton and come back with more. out with the family? Head to the Mississippi Earth Tones Festival at the Alton Amphitheater Saturday, September 21st. From noon to 10, enjoy 100 booths with environmental education, interactive art experiences, and performances, along with great local food and beverages. Emerge in the art, food, vendors, and music, and be heard by celebrating our incredible river. It's free, it's fun, and it's happening Saturday, September 21st at the Alton Amphitheater.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit villagedispo.com and shop now.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
9:19, welcome back. 17th day of September. We got Rocky and Megan in studio. Hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. How are you doing?
I'm great. Yeah, it's been a minute.
So, busier than ever?
Yes.
And Megan, new addition. Welcome back to the studio as well in a different role now.
Thanks. It's good to see you.
How are you liking the new position over here?
Yeah, I'm loving it. Rocky's awesome to work with. We were friends first, and yeah, I mean, I was farming for a while before, and I've kind of been joking that I'm going from carrots to carrots. So
there you. That's good. Rocky, how's everything been?
Great, busier than ever, so that's a good problem to have, and definitely needed the help. Was way over my head, and Megan's been fantastic.
You know what I always think is funny? We always start in the same journey where it's like, oh, we can do this, we can handle it all, and then it's like, no, we can't. It's time to have a team here, you know?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, you know, you have a couple of upcoming opportunities for us to stop by and say hi, and really cool. And you know, let's just dive into those first so we can get the audience thinking about it. When is your next upcoming event?
So the next event is this weekend in Springfield, Illinois. That is going to be the Edwards Place Fine Art Fair. And then the following weekend is the Edwardsville Art Fair in Edwardsville.
So I'm not going to lie. I was like doing 8 things at once during the commercial break. And I thought you said the Edwardsville Art Fair in Springfield. So it's the Edwards Art Place.
Edwards Place.
Oh. Ah.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Hell, I'm not making it any easier. So what does that show look and sound like?
So the Edwards Place show is a small show in Springfield at the Edwards Place Art Center, and kind of like the EAC in Edwardsville. And then they just put on the show every year. I love that show. They treat us great, and it's close, enough to home that It's an easy show to do. And Springfield and Edwardsville and St. Louis are my biggest clientele, so it's a really great way for people to see me and see my work.
Really cool. And then the Edwardsville Art Fair is always just a really great event, and that thing keeps growing, it seems like.
Oh, yeah.
And so what day is that one on?
September 20...
I want to say 27th.
That one's going to be the last weekend in September.
Okay, perfect. So the 27th and the 28th.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then what are you going to have on display there? What can we stop by and see you with?
All the tiny shinies. So lots of sparkle as usual. And this month these are my favorite shows every year. These are some of my biggest shows every year. So I always make sure that I bring a lot of new pieces that you've never seen before. So I've got a lot of stuff in the works. I think I have something like, you don't even know this yet.
I know. I haven't even. She was working on the weekend, and she was like, "I'm gonna have some cool stuff to show."
Yeah. She's got like something like 50 pieces to put into inventory.
Oh, have fun!
Surprise!
Well, it's pretty fun because then you get to wear everything when you are inventorying. So.
Oh, well, that's true.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Well, what first got you interested in jewelry design?
So I have always been a sparkle lover. My mom used to go to James Durbin Jewelers in St. Louis, and that was her jeweler that would do repairs or that my dad would buy things for her from. And I remember going in there, seeing Roger Reimel's work and thinking, like, this is what I want to do. And I never thought that was possible until I started taking some classes at Craft Alliance, and then stumbled on the metals class and just fell in love with the medium. I love, ceramics. It's so temperamental. It's so instantaneous, and you have to you break it and you throw it away. Whereas with metal, if you like bend it the wrong way, you can just get your hammer out and bend it back the right way.
Yeah.
So I always loved how malleable it was, and then ended up getting my BFA and then working as a bench jeweler under the jeweler that inspired me in the first place. So it came really full circle, and it's just been a lifelong passion.
That's really cool. And honestly, what I see just on your website too, and with great inventory, by the way, you have your designs are really unique, and it seems like you take some inspiration out of a few different aspects. Is that kind of where am I leading on to the right thing?
Absolutely. So my inspiration is, kind of an amalgamation of this joy for process. I really love process heavy, so I'm melting and mixing metal, processing it all as much as I can, really getting my hands in the raw material. But then there's also this nod to this childhood spent between Spain and St. Louis, and this very celestial but also geological nod of this push and pull between flying back and forth, looking at, the ground from a plane. But then when I was a kid, I used to think Spain was in the clouds because you'd get in a plane. Yeah. so yeah.
That's cool.
So when I was here, I was looking up at the clouds a lot. And then when I was in a plane, I was looking down at the ground a lot of lit up cities at night. And so it's kind of that push and pull, that conversation between the two, and this wanderlust.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, and I think you can always tell whenever you truly have inspiration in artwork, because you can always tell when somebody maybe is just having a rough go of things, and you can just tell that there's something missing. And in your pieces, you can really see that all the stops are pulled out, and it's really a full circle piece of art, and that's what I call your work. It's art, and that's where I think that is really cool about stopping by and seeing you, because it's not this mass-produced, ring that everyone got off of Amazon during the Amazon deals day. This is something that is unique to not only us, but unique to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm hand fabricating every single piece. I'm cutting it all out. Yeah. I work exclusively with silver and high carat gold and various gemstones, so that these are pieces also that will last a lifetime. My intention is that they be future heirlooms. They be the pieces that people when you're a kid and you think about like an aunt who always wore this one ring, like that's what I want this work to be, are those pieces that you become iconic to you.
Right. Well, and now what's your favorite material to work with?
Gold.
Is it really?
Hands down, yeah.
Is it the easiest to work with? Or?
Well, it depends on what you're doing. Platinum's really great for setting stones, but gold is just the easiest all around because it's soft. It wants to do what you want it to do. And it's just so beautiful. Like, especially the higher carat. I switched to high carat several years ago. and really love working with that more rich yellow that the higher carat offers.
So is that really what the difference is in gold color, is just a carat difference?
So yeah, the more gold content, the more yellow orange you're gonna get in
That's
the gold.
cool.
Yeah.
So white gold and rose gold, what are the differences between that and maybe the yellow that we're used to seeing in like cartoons and all that?
So white gold's gonna have nickel in it, which is what makes it white, and then rose gold's gonna have copper in it, which is what makes it rose.
Oh.
So they still have gold in them, but then you create an alloy. You mix metals with it to get different colors.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, and now, is there one that you just can't stand? Like, if you could never see it again?
Well, I mean, non-precious metals, yes. Like, I mean, they're great. I can't work with like non-precious metals because my hands will like just get really dark and greasy, and like the smell and the taste. I know that's really weird, but like
does it get like stuck in your nose too, like almost with those things? Yeah, I can see that.
Which I know a lot of people do like to work with. It's a great metal to learn with. Copper and nickel are excellent to learn with, and that's what I learned with. But my skin's just very reactive to it, so that's another reason why I just don't work with it in the studio. But as far as precious metals, rose gold is really finicky, but it is so pretty. Like it's hard to set stones in rose gold.
Well, and I think you just brought up a good point too, with like, maybe some metals being not the best, for sensitive skins. Because I do know of people that can't wear certain, I don't know if it's silver or what, but there's certain materials that they just can't wear because they'll break out or there's something that'll happen. So that's kind of nice to know for folks that maybe have those type of issues that are not issues, but have those conditions like I do with my sensitive skin, to know like we're pretty much safe whenever we put a ring on. It ain't turning green on you, or anything like that.
What I like to say is that your skin has expensive taste, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's right. Well, and now, whenever we're first getting around, working with metals and stuff, I can't trust myself with a blowtorch or any type of like thing involving heat to melt it. Do you do any of that like melting work?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So like, did you ever get to a point where like, was there a nervousness?
Well, it depends on what style of melting you're doing. There's something called centrifugal casting, which you use a...
Say that 4 times fast.
I don't even know if I said it right. But yeah, you're using centrifugal force to cast.
Okay.
And so you have to pour molten metal into your mold and then release a pin and spin molten metal around. That always gave me pause.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I'd freak out. I'd have a panic attack 20 seconds in. I can barely hang my blinds without thinking I'm going to hit a gas line. You know what Is that the only type of way that you cast metal? What are some of the... Well, how do you cast it?
So I actually don't do that much casting. When I'm melting, I'm pouring ingots. So I'm just pouring... metal into like a little ingot mold to make sheet or wire, because I don't have a full casting setup in my studio at the moment. But I like to do lost wax casting in a vacuum caster. So instead of the centrifugal force, you're creating a vacuum in a little
that's
bubble
really
dome.
cool.
Yeah, and you pour the molten metal into there, then you put the dome on, turn on the vacuum, and it's very calm.
Do you ever do like shorts or anything, like how you do it?
Like videos? Yes, Megan is here for that. Because I'm really bad at doing that.
This is something that I connect with all the time, because like I used to, like I have software and stuff that used for like shorts and promotion, but it's hard to find the good in what you do because you're bored of yourself all the time. It's like I can't listen to myself talk for more than 20 seconds. So to have someone like Megan who can really help emphasize some of the really cool points that maybe you don't see because you're so like hyper focused on your projects, that's a big addition,
Oh, for sure.
Good job, Megan.
Yeah. No, she's constantly saying like, "Can I get pictures of this? Can I get pictures of that?" I'm like, "Yes."
It seems like, Megan, you really enjoy the creativity that the job brings for you too.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of a muscle that I hadn't worked in a bit. Like even like Rocky will do all these rings, like her Sola stackers, and she names all of them.
No way. Yeah. That's so cool.
So I was naming all of them when she shipped me some inventory recently, and I was like, I don't know, it was really inspiring. I mean, there was this one ring that I was looking at and like immediately like was taken back to like a hike that I went on like in Southern Illinois a couple years ago. Just the colors and like the combination of it. I was like, oh my God. And then I like looked up the name of the trail that I was on. So that one's called Trillium Trail. So like, I don't know. It was just kind of cool to.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I like the personal touches to the pieces too, because honestly, that's what jewelry should really be, is this personalized, item for you. And that's what I think's cool now about the world we live in, is that, it's not just you got to go into, like Tiffany and refinance your house to get a really nice piece of jewelry. You can go to, Rocky, who has wonderful pieces, and really live that and support local while you do it too.
Yeah.
Really cool. So, whenever we're talking about the jewelry making process, is there a best part? Like, is it, because to me, I thought about this question, and I'm like, well, what would the best part be? Because to me, it'd be nerve-wracking to set the stone. Because what if you're off by like 1/10 of a centimeter and you're staring at I have OCD, so it'd be on site. Like, it would just be terrible.
Yeah. I really only get nervous when I'm working with my clients' stones, because they're sentimental.
Oh, totally. Like grandma's rings and things like that. Okay. Do you do that type of work?
Yeah.
Oh.
I like to call them jewelry box makeovers. So we'll take old jewelry, old gold, melt them down and turn them into something new.
What a great idea for like a grandchild or someone who really has some older pieces that just need a little bit of some TLC.
Yeah, well, and especially if they're not your style. Like, what I hate is when you have a sentimental piece of jewelry sitting in your jewelry box not being worn, because that's not what the person who gave it to you, that's not what they want for it,
Right.
So, like, let's take that material, turn it into something that is your style, and it's still grandma's ring or your aunt's ring, your mom's ring, but now it's something that you can love and wear and enjoy.
Well, and is there an idea for somebody? Because I've always thought about the whole ring thing. Because you go to a museum and like everyone's like 5'4" in like the 1800s or like the 1500s, really like medieval times. You go to those castle museums. So like, is there like a jewelry, a piece that you recommend that would be a better heirloom than maybe a ring, like a bracelet or a watch or any of those things? Because sometimes it seems like you waste all this time trying to get it resized, but sometimes it's too thin or it's too delicate. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know much.
Well, so necklaces are usually kind of they're gonna get. And earrings.
Yeah.
And gonna get the lightest wear. Rings and bracelets. What a lot of people don't consider is the fact that everything we encounter is technically an abrasive, and metal is malleable.
Oh.
So, if you've ever seen a ring that someone's worn for 40 years, it gets worn down because everything. It's,
right.
It's like a car. You gotta take it in for checkups. Yeah.
That makes sense. Really cool. So, is there a favorite part or best part of the jewelry making process?
Oh,
sorry, I went on a tangent, guys.
No. I helped. I really love it's a part that I think comes to any creative when you kind of get into this zone and when like everything is going right. Like, that's my favorite part, is when I can really like bang out a lot in a day because everything is just like the solder is flowing perfectly and like nothing's like wiggling, or I didn't accidentally cut too far, or, because even 20 years into playing, almost not full 20, but almost 20 years of playing with metals, and I still mess up, not as often anymore. But yeah, so I think it's like that zen is my favorite part, and then kind of maybe that last that last push of the bezel, and then you take a step back and you look at that piece and you're like, yeah. And then you got to do the finishing, which is my least favorite. But
what's finishing look like?
So like polishing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, putting the oxidation on it, which a lot of my pieces are oxidized, or leaving it high polished.
Now, is oxidized where you put it in like the metal and like zap it? What is that?
No, so that's anodizing.
Oh.
I'm a little bit of a metal nerd. So oxidation is something that silver already naturally wants to do. So that's why my pieces are really lovely, because they are super low maintenance. They're already tarnished. So what I do is I rapid tarnish with something called liver of sulfur. And it smells exactly like you think.
Yeah, I was right to say that.
Yeah.
Do they make a candle?
Oh, God. We do that at the end of the day before work is done. Like, it's the last thing we do before we leave the studio.
Or if you're me, who's like immune to it, I think I did this the other day. I realized, I'm like, oh man, we're still in here for a couple hours. I'm sorry, I just oxidized this. Because I don't smell it anymore.
That's awesome. You got a moment to stick around.
Yeah, yeah.
Before we take a quick break, let me fill you in on Alton Little Theater. They have Making God Laugh setting the stage this weekend on Friday, Saturday, and matinees. All you got to do is go to altonlittletheater.org. They're starting their 91st season. They already had their first couple of performances, but this one's going to be a great one where it's really a family performance to bring the whole kit and caboodle to and save big. You know, you can still get season tickets. You stop in there, and you can get season tickets for $65. Try getting a season ticket anywhere for that price. It ain't going to happen. You know, coming up in Halloween is Rocky Horror Picture. You got to be careful saying that word. Rocky Horror Picture Show is going to be taking place at Alton Little Theater at midnight on Halloween. A Christmas Carol, which will be Kevin Frake's final show. Best of the Best Broadway, so much more. Go to altonlittletheater.org or call the box office 618-462-3205.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit altontoyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Mungan Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Mungan Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Mungan Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Welcome back, 9:39. A little bit of change on this. It's Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday all day. Tuesday morning, rolling around the corner. We got Rocky Megan back in studio. So, you have a satellite office in Florida. Studio?
Yeah, studio in Florida.
Definitely the proper terminology would be studio. We're out in Florida, northern part?
So in the Panhandle.
Really cool.
Yep.
My parents have a condo in Destin and all that, and love it.
An hour from there.
Really cool.
Yeah. Yep.
So do you ever just sit on the beach and all that and just kind of gather thoughts? Because that would be a great spot to really find some inspiration, I would think.
Oh, absolutely. That's my favorite place to sketch and just
really
think
cool.
and plan. Yeah.
So is there ever, when you were growing up, for me, it was, I don't know why, weird, kind of just squirrel moment. But it was The Great Gatsby with Leonardo DiCaprio that I got really into, the steampunk, metal thing. I just thought it was, a cool look. Were ever any movies that you kind of thought, wow, this is really something I can work with?
So I haven't watched a lot of movies. I don't watch too much TV, or when I do, I fall asleep. So no, actually not inspired by movies at all.
Yeah, if you actually put on a TV show, like it's like we put on a TV show sometimes, like to have Rocky fall asleep. Yeah.
I can't.
Are
make
you
it,
serious?
No, I can't make it through a 25-minute show. Yeah.
I was like, it's the funniest thing I said all day, and that's pretty good. So, what makes jewelry special when it's handcrafted and it's not, because I get, rings are beautiful, but to me, there's just something about looking for that one piece, and it might take a little bit to find it. But I don't know. You know more about this than I do. What makes that piece a little bit more different than a mass-produced piece of jewelry?
Well, specifically with us, you get to meet us and play
Good
Sparkle
point.
with us.
Good point.
Well,
yeah.
My engagement ring was actually before I was working with Rocky, my now fiance, and Rocky actually worked together to design it. So like there's literally no other ring out there in the world that is the same as my ring. And I feel like an elven princess when I wear this every day.
Are you? That's so cool, though. Now, would you say that piece is pretty much all you?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's got mine and Kyle's birthstones, and then a big, nice sapphire in the middle, which actually we realized later is the month we had started dating like 5 years ago. So kind of a coincidence we got the sapphire because it was kind of supposed to be like the standout stone. But
that's really cool. So can people call you for those type of pieces too?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, love doing custom. You'll be talking to Megan for custom, so that I'm at the bench. But yeah, we love. I don't know. You can put that much sentimentality into a piece when you get to talk one-on-one with us.
Well, and that's what's cool to know too, though, because it seems like that old school way of like just life of having and going and finding custom pieces and really having that one, not even just for jewelry but anything, it just seems gone because of like Amazon and all the bigger box stores. But for folks to know, hey, there is those opportunities are still out there. That's awesome. Now, how long? Let's be honest here, because we got a lot of guys that procrastinate and are like, oh, I'm going to engage tomorrow. I'm going to call Rocky today and get this banged out in an hour. What's the turnaround time for
we like to say that Rocky's custom is about 6 to 8 months out.
Yeah.
No, and that makes sense though. So that gives you about 6 months to prepare for a good engagement. I mean, you're already getting a custom piece, you might as well go all out with it,
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But so custom work is 6 to 8 months, and it's not just for like engagement rings. It could be for
anything.
Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you make like pendants or anything like that?
Brooches?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because pendants are,
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I haven't done brooches in a while, but that's actually something I did a lot in my undergrad.
Oh, really?
Before I knew how to kind of make pieces that were wearable on the body, I was making pieces that were wearable on your scarf or your shirt. My favorite is to make something that's convertible as a necklace, pendant, and a brooch, because then you have that versatility.
That's super cool, yeah.
But yeah, and so yeah, I think the only thing I haven't made are cufflinks, but I'm open to it.
Stay tuned. I need some cufflinks. No, you know what I miss is the guys that had the little thing that went across their suit. With the watch, they had like a little clip.
Oh yeah.
Those are like kind of fashion fads. Yeah, fashion fads of the past. But getting back into this, you have an opportunity if you want to go up to Springfield and see Rocky this weekend. What times?
So it is going to be Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday 10 to 4 at the Edwards Place Art Center.
How do you not get confused with that?
I have to say it very slowly.
It's impressive.
Yeah. I think you might have seen my brain steaming a little bit of smoke coming out of my ears.
And then Edwardsville Art Fair, do you know what time? Are you going to be there just all Edwardsville Art Fair?
Yeah, I'll be there the entire time. My usual spot for those who know me and love me. It's kind of right there in the center of the show. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. We haven't gotten the locations yet. But did I force their hand now?
Go ahead and just throw her in the center of the show, please.
And the Edwardsville Art Show has an evening component on Friday.
Oh, okay.
I think it's 5 to 9. And then Saturday and Sunday, don't quote me on the times, but probably like 10 to 5-ish.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. Well, and, as we just kind of keep wrapping this up, I got to ask you, is there anything you're looking to do down the pipeline in the next couple of years that maybe you haven't tried yet?
Ooh, yes. I have been I'm really excited for an all gold collection that I plan on making.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, stay tuned for some pieces that are just solid gold, so I can play a little bit more with gold and yeah.
So with that being said, too, if people wanted to reach out for custom pieces or even to check out the inventory, what's the best place to do that at?
You can always go on the website. We have like a couple fields you can fill out, and then it'll get sent to an email to me, or you can just directly email Rocky at rockypardo.com.
Really cool. And now, can you buy online?
Not right now.
Okay. So how do we reach out for anything? If there's something we see on the website, do we send a message?
Yeah, you'll just send a message to me, and I end up sending you lots of photos from the inventory.
Really cool. Well, stay up to date by going to rockypardo.com. You can go to /contact to ask any message you like about custom orders, or just to, pick up a piece that you're going to love, or just see Rocky in the next couple of weeks in Springfield or Edwardsville. Great talking to both of you.
Thank you, CJ.
And have a great rest of your day. At 9:46, before we take a quick break, Hainer Library. You can get rid of Netflix today if you have it. You don't watch TV. But I got something for you in a second. You can get rid of Netflix tomorrow. With your library card, you get ad-free for free streaming with movies and TV with Biblio Plus. Plus, you get the Creative Bug app for free, so you can get all the really cool crafting ideas on how-to videos, all that fun stuff for you and your family to go do. Plus, the library of things you can get, like ghost hunting equipment, outdoor games, movie projectors. Just rent it and check it out and bring it back. Or, even bigger than that, your kid's calculator broke a day before finals. Don't fight that lady at Walmart that's been there for 13 minutes. She's had enough, too. She's already fought with 4 people. Just go check out a calculator from the library of things. Bring it back tomorrow. It's all good. Go to HainerLibrary.org. Click on the How Do I tab. Put your address in on the library card form, and you're good to go. Hang out with Lacey McDonald on Wednesdays and the director of Hainer Library, Mary Cordes, on the first and last Monday of each and every month as we explore our public institution.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey, Sherry.
Talk to me, Dream Team.
We've got a showing.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
One of my favorites, Denis Sparks. How are you doing today?
Living the dream, man.
You know, it's a September Tuesday.
Well, you know, I've had a great rash of events happen.
You have, and honestly, number one, building. How's that looking with the car that crashed through?
Well, the unexpected drive-through service actually got buttoned up. I had to spend the night.
Oh, no.
My wife and I had to sit there all night long with a big gaping hole in the building because of the zombies that come out after night.
You're right. And because you have a building full of inventory and all those...
Expensive trucks, trailers. Yeah. We sat there until the sun came up, and then we had a couple contractors stop by. Then Paul Yost had came by first, and very quickly within that same afternoon on Monday, I think it was about 5 or 6 of his guys, man, they had to use a come-along to pull that steel beam. I still cannot believe that they walked away from hitting that.
Yeah, so was it a couple that was in that car?
It was a female and a male passenger.
Okay.
Who she admitted he grabbed the steering wheel. They were having an argument.
No way.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep. And one of the things that really concerned me is when she came up and said, "I'm so sorry," and I could smell the alcohol on her.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Well, you know, I hope that they
did a field. The PFC officer, you know, I approached him, and the police officers and the first responders, the fire department, Fred's Towing, I can't say enough. They came quickly. They were there before I got notified. I raced down there. I got there about 9:45. So, unfortunately, my neighbor across the street has 6 cameras, but none of them are facing my building.
What are they? Of course.
But there were three people on the street. I think the police officer said one was in a car. She was an Uber driver, and she said she saw the female driving fine, and then all of a sudden it was erratic. And I guess when he grabbed the wheel, you know, she tried to overcorrect it, and well, you know, I've been offering contractors drive-up service to drop their construction debris off, but
that's not what you meant.
I didn't plan for that.
Well, and honestly, too, I mean, just to hear that, if you know of somebody that's in that situation, you can always call 1-800-799-SAFE, or you can text START to 88788 for the domestic abuse hotline, too, because that sounds like pretty nasty.
Yeah, I would say she needs a different boyfriend.
Yeah, I do, too. Text START to 88788, seriously, and get the help, because that's rough. But for you, though, I mean, you had just moved into that building.
Well, I've been in that building about 2 years.
Was it 2 years?
But
I thought it was 1.
I purchased it in February or March of
this year or last
year?
Last year, that's right. So, I mean, was it this year?
This year.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
this year. This
there's
year's
so much
over.
going.
I can't remember.
There's so much going on, but I mean, it's just one of those where I'm sure that's a shot in the gut, and then you got a team that's still got to work the next day on Monday.
Well, you know what, CJ? If they would have, their car would have been back 2 feet. My trash truck and my roll-off truck were butted together, parked together on that exterior side, so they would have hit either one of those trucks. Now, I thank God for 2 things. One, nobody was seriously injured or killed. I should say three things. Secondly, I thank God that she had full coverage.
Oh, you ain't a kid in there.
That's a huge plus.
Yeah.
But three, if this would have been any earlier, our walk-in man door is right at that corner. Somebody would have been killed.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that somebody would not have been hurt really bad or killed. So, yes, they towed her car off. We had a hole in the building. We sat all night. Those two called an Uber and went home and slept in their bed while my wife and I caught a few winks because, you know,
You can't do
there's
it.
so many iffy people down there now.
Well, and
that's a whole nother issue.
Well, and the thing is, Denise, too, it's not like, you know, you have the opportunity. You aren't hauling freight where, you know, one bad day can, you know, just put you behind for a few. If you have a situation where you guys go home and you sleep and all of a sudden one truck's gone or two trucks are missing, your operation is on an axis for an extended period of time. I mean, you have to be down there to watch those things. And it goes, those are the things that we don't see you doing as a business owner, you know, and those are the things that you have to do. It just sucks that that's what was given to you this month. I mean, that's terrible because you were just texting me about your new flyer about the roll-off dumpster service, and then right afterwards, I got a picture sent to me from you from that crash.
I'm still shocked about it. But you know what? They say, I was always taught things happen for a reason, and I'm really digging down deep to try and figure out what that reason is.
Yeah.
But the structural engineers came last Friday. Building and zoning did come on Friday. I didn't see anybody until then. I had the night of the accident on Sunday evening, I sent out emails to everybody letting them know, you know, this unfortunate situation, to give them a heads up to come out and see me. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be totally honest, because people that know me know I'm very transparent.
Yeah.
I'm not here to bash anybody. I like I said, the police department, the fire department, the towing department, Paul Yost with Tycon Builders, amazing. But to have a structure damaged like it was and not have an inspector come out or even a call from the mayor, I was shocked. I've been here for 31 years, and people, if they watched I talked at the city council last Wednesday. We had phone calls all morning Monday from our customers, from friends, you know, inquiring if we were okay.
Yeah. Well,
That
I
was
mean,
it.
and it wasn't like it was no one knew about it. I mean, hell, it was all over local media.
I know,
and
I
we
didn't
had-
even realize that.
Well, but the thing that kind of bothers me, though, is it's not like you were just sitting there with your hands on your, you know, sitting on your hands. You were actively reaching out saying, I have a gaping hole and my building got crushed, and it took 5 days to get somebody out there.
Well, I got to tell you, too, that right before this happened, Ameren, I have to thank them as well, because I had them come out. I wanted the building lit up like a Christmas tree because I do have cameras everywhere, outside, inside, but we're having illegal dumping problems back there. I did apply for a TIF grant, and at the September 25th council meeting, I will get a response as to if it's approved or not. And one of the things that we're going to put up, if you've been to my building, which is the first Pepsi building, right there, catty corner from GB Grill, I have a huge parking lot.
Right.
So the first front part of it is asphalted. The back part is just concrete. So what I'm going to do is I've proposed to put a 117-foot fence that will be 54 feet across. It'll have a big 16-foot gate opening to where we can put all of our roll-off dumpsters out there, because they're flying out the door. I'm getting a lot of calls, but we need that space. guarded. It's going to have barbed wire.
Well, and I think that's a needed TIF because to me, you're performing a service for the community, and even though you're a profitable business, you're not you're getting paid. If you had dumpsters stolen or you had this problem where all of a sudden
Or they fill them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. All of a sudden that impedes the taxpayer's day to day, and it impedes their growth because now they gotta maybe find someone else if something happens and they're filled or someone took one or God knows what happened. So the fence is a very much needed commodity there.
And part of the TIF is to paint the existing structure.
That's needed.
But
painting's expensive right now.
Everything is expensive.
You ain't a kid in there.
Landfill fees are expensive.
We got a text. By the way, I got a text from our buddy over there. We had to bump Rusty today because you were coming in, so I kicked Rusty to Thursday. I said, Rusty, you got to come Thursday. Denise is coming today.
He gave me a shout out. He said he was coming Thursday. That guy's incredible.
Well, he said Chain Gang wants to make sure Denise cleaned up the trash after the.
You tell Mr. Rusty I was out there because the city and the fire department didn't sweep it up. I got out with a push broom with my headlights on and I swept it up.
Well, and see, it sucks that you had to do. I mean,
I shouldn't have to.
No, but it sucks too that you wait 5 days to know. I mean, because there's a lot of things that could go wrong when an inspector shows up to your building that's crashed through. What all of a sudden if they go, you got to move everything out of here because it's not structurally safe?
I know.
I mean, to me, there is no excuse. I mean, there's no excuse at all. That you got a gaping hole in a building on one of your busiest streets.
Still framed.
Come on. I mean, I'm sorry they had to go through that, Denise. I can see why. I mean, if there's any frustration, I'd be very frustrated. But someone did come?
Yes, somebody did. Paul ended up calling. I gave him also a shout out.
Yeah.
That the structural engineer was coming. So, I was surprised somebody showed up. But you know what? In order to have a restoration or repair permit, there has to be a structure. And the girl's insurance company said, "No, we're not going to pay for that." And I'm like,
"Oh, yeah, you are."
Yeah, you are.
This ain't
It gets better.
It ain't an act of God,
Yeah, it just kept getting better and better all week. And then let's see, last Friday, I'm picking up one of my rubber tire dump trailers, and I get a call from my office assistant, and she's like, "I can't get out of my car. This is like at 7:00 when she comes in." I said, "Why?" And there's this woman, homeless woman across the street that broke into where rope and rigging used to be. Broke into his car, and I don't know what she took out of it. And then she came over and started beating on my building and calling my gal every name in the book. And so, you know me, CJ.
Yeah.
I put on the flashers and
Yep.
There I sat in the middle of the road, and she was behind my building then, beating on the bus stop sign. God love her. I want to say this. Mental illness is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there are programs here that I hear, get thousands and millions of dollars for every year. Why are these people not being taken care of?
So I've said it time and time again on the show. I've had Centerstone on for twice a month for 6 months, and we talked about all the wonderful programs that they have, because you're right. It's not, it's not a make fun of them thing. It's they need help. They need help. And when you have a county that has these programs, I've talked to board members on this show, and I get an answer of, yes, that's a good idea. But why isn't the county doing more to get the information out of the programs maybe that are affiliated with the county, and just programs and resources that aren't? Because, what happens is word of mouth spreads, and then you get a couple of people that go, hey, there's one place down in Alton that'll help, and so everyone comes, and then all of a sudden they're stuck here, and there's programs in Edwardsville and all throughout the county that could come and help these people, and here they are banging on Denis Sparks' door. And it's not fair to them. It's not fair to their families. It's not fair to the people that pay taxes and have properties that are commercial properties and spearhead economic
Or
growth.
feel threatened to get out of your car.
I mean, I can tell you there's times where I've had that same situation. I mean, I've told the story time and time again about how I get out of my car and there's somebody peeing on one of my coworkers' cars as I'm walking in the building. You know?
My goodness.
And so it's not a make fun of them or they're bad people argument. It's a we need to help them. We have programs, so let's use them and let's get them the help that they need. I mean, that's just that simple.
And I have to commend one thing that I didn't realize when I came out of city council. Several of us were talking to Chief Ford, and they have a white patrol car that is specifically unmarked. And he was explaining to me how this particular police officer goes around and tries to help these homeless. And not only do we not have the funding for everything that these people need to be treated, but the question is this: you've got the other half that don't want help.
Well, that's true too.
So how do we get those that don't want help to take the help?
Well,
I think that's the bigger question.
Well, it is, and honestly, and that's a good point on the police department, because remember that guy that was walking down Broadway about a year ago with the gun, and it wasn't really a gun, but he could. I mean, any other city in the country, their police department 9 times out of 10 is going to do something a little bit more drastic.
Right.
But Sacred Spaces of Care, Megan Tyler,
Yes.
has worked so well with this APD that they're really doing good stuff. But you're right; it's if someone doesn't want help. I get that because, we've all had, I've had struggles and I get it. Sometimes you just don't want it. You want to keep your lifestyle. It's too hard, whatever, gotcha. But if it's starting to impede the taxpayers and it's starting to affect the life and safety of somebody because somebody doesn't want the help and they're still, maybe spun out, maybe they're just kind of gone, well, that becomes a major safety issue, and it becomes an issue that affects the entire downtown district and entire downtown Alton area all the way up into East Alton, and it's something that's got to be talked about.
2 years ago when I moved in down at my building, the number of faces that I saw, maybe 10, 15 people, I knew them.
Well, right, you're right about that. Yeah,
and I knew who they were. I knew a lot of them by name. I've taken a couple homeless people. I'm going to tell you right now. Years ago, I took one off the streets and he worked for me for 10 years. Another one needed some medical attention and, I helped him out. The problem is those faces that I knew are deceased now.
Yeah.
From unfortunate overdoses. And every day that I look out my front door of my office or that I'm driving to work, I see new people every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, because there's,
it's
always
tripled.
It is. It really has. And there's no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it. And, like you said, there's familiar faces. And just like you, there's times where, heck, if it's the middle of winter, I know when Kennedy Smith, I still have one, I think, in here. He brought me these, right here. These thermal emergency blankets. So if I know it's cold, I have one left. So whenever it starts getting cold, there's somebody that always hangs around the building. You give them to them and they stay warm. And it's, making sure you're doing your part because you aren't not trying to get rid of anybody. It's just let's help them. Let's help them and let's make their lives better. That's just kind of the only thought I have about it. And then it's just like, why isn't the county, we can spend all of this money on ridiculous bids and all of these ridiculous things. I'm tired of hearing their excuses for why, well, it's just the way things are written. So no, it's not. It's your choice. Why aren't we spending 1/10 of what we're spending on useless projects to inform people, number one, on local elections because they're the most important, and number two, mental health resources that are around? Why can't we spend anything on public service announcements or any type of advertising on billboards to say, hey, you can get help if you come here or call this number, and just try? Because we aren't doing anything. What's the worst thing we can do? Try and fail?
Well, it's just like, I've always said, and we just went through this with the homeless shelter that the Salvation Army wanted.
Yeah.
You have to vet these people.
For sure.
You can't just open the door and invite this one in and that one in. I mean, there are legitimate people out there that are abused that, for whatever reason, they may not be a drug addict. Mm-hmm. They may not be a criminal. They just are down on their luck, and they need some serious help.
Yeah. And
I just think it's all backwards.
It is, and it's really sad. And just, I mean, honestly, you have a better eye than anybody because that is a very frequently traveled corridor, and you definitely see it. So the reason you sent me a text on Sunday before the fun of September hit you in the nose, you had some roll off the truck dumpster services.
Ooh, wait till you see them painted purple.
So what do these look like?
I have pictures of them, but I mean they're roll off dumpsters. We still have the 10-yard and a 20-yard rubber tired driveway safe dumpsters, so you can choose from those. It's not any different price. We have 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30-yard roll off dumpsters, and people like those because they sit on the ground and you can open up the door and walk in.
Exactly. You have seen people try to get those damn arms over those other ones. That is the feat in itself. Now, question for you, and this is kind of a CJ question, but maybe other people have it too. Do you only take trash and junk? Do you take, like, if someone needs to get
I take
a ton of dirt out of their basement and needs it to go
in the roll-offs, I have the ability now to be able to put different heavier items. Say like my axle dumpsters.
Oh yeah.
I won't put rock, dirt, or shingles in them because it's hard on the axles.
For sure.
So yes, of course though, if you're going to dump a ton of this or a ton of that or 3 ton, 4 ton, unfortunately the cost is going to be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But with the roll-offs, people potentially like to keep those anywhere between 3 to 7 days.
Well, that's what I was saying. For me personally, because it's not a ton of dirt, but I want to get it kind of cleaned off there, and I have an old water heater that I just replaced that's down there, and just a ton of stuff.
Scrap. Anytime that I send information out on my dumpsters, there is a list that I also text that says items not accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Scrap metal is one of them, but I don't want it in the dumpster.
Gotcha.
I'm huge on recycling.
Yeah.
You know that. So, for instance, we picked up one today and another one, and I told the people, if you have appliances, any type of scrap metal, put it to the side. And my crew went back and picked it up this morning. So
That's cool.
we recycle it.
I gotta give you a
I'm
call.
like I shouldn't say this, but I'm like the old Central Hardware. Anything from scoop to nuts,
Well, and that's what I love about you, though, because that's
we're
the
a one-stop shop now.
Well, and that's what I seriously brag about you all the time because it's like, just pick, if you have anything related to hauling, just call Denise because if she doesn't do it, she has a great answer on why you can't or what type of things you got to look for. And, my parent, I got a question for you. We put you on the spot. My dad the other day missed trash day. He called the office. Was he able to get his trash picked up for being lazy?
I don't know, but my guys are told if it's not out, they go up and pick it up.
Oh, good. Well, he left his in the garage, I think.
Oh, well,
yeah, that's why he messed up, and he was like, man, I forgot to roll the trash out. I said, well, call Denise. She might come back and get it. Who knows?
He may have talked to Mindy. I don't know.
They love your service. Seriously. It's a great thing. And, it's just one of those times now because the weather's starting to cool off. This roll off the truck dumpster service is perfect because, what better? It's going to be getting cooler. You have keep it for a week and every day take some stuff out of the garage that you aren't using anymore, and it's good to know the way that you guys get rid of your items. It's not all going in the the landfill. You got recyclables. You're really big on anything that you can refurbish. Yeah, honestly, it's huge to know that for so many.
Well, one of the things that people like too, especially if I get the phone call, is I explain to them, look, you know what? They're like, oh, I don't want to spend, $420 for a 10-year. I'm like, you know what? Here's another option that you have. Get your stuff, take pictures of it, text it to me. If my junk crew can come and if I can cut your price a little bit lower to save you some money, or you want to put it curbside to save even more money, there's options at Sparks.
Yeah.
It's not just, hey, I need a dumpster and I can't afford it. Well, let me talk to you. Let me feel you out and find out exactly what you're throwing away.
It's community business, because it's not a website that goes, oh, well, you either got to pay this now or you aren't getting it, and that's what I think's really good about this, is the fact that, there's a lot of people that know it's not necessarily wanting a discount, but just going, hey, because we've all been there where, your water heater and stove go out at the same time, or whatever the hell you have, maybe the couch breaks and you got a bunch of stuff you need to get rid of, and it's like, I just spent the last couple of bucks I had on, the stove, and I got to get the stuff hauled out of here. We've all been there, and it's good to know that you're working with us.
Yep.
Are you still growing in trash pickup clients?
Woo, yes.
I just saw that
by the end of the year, I'm going to have a bigger trash truck. I just hired a trash truck driver. He used to work for a big corporation over in St. Louis, so he's a really nice guy. So I ask, my clients or my customers, they see new faces, just bear with them. He does have several years experience. And then we have our roll-off driver. And I'm always looking for, part-time help on the junk removal side. We are busy.
That's what I love.
I love it, though.
Yeah, I follow you on Facebook, and I just see the things, and it's like, it's really cool to see that you are seriously just out there and at them all the time.
People asked a year ago when they saw that I was 2 years ago when I was in this building, they're like, when are you going to get roll-off dumpsters, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I listen to what their needs are, and I try and deliver.
Well, and especially too, because for a while it seemed like these roll-off dumpsters, it seemed like they were so hard to find, or
they were so high,
or you had to call a St. Louis company or whatever, and then it was like, you know what else is like that too now? You might want to take me up on this offer.
What's that?
Locksmiths.
You know what else somebody's brought to my attention?
What's that?
That I should offer, and boy, I've been thinking about it. Shredding service.
Oh God, yeah, 100%.
You know how many estates I go into that they want their paperwork shredded?
I couldn't even imagine.
Oh, I'm tired.
So, are you still taking trash clients?
Absolutely.
781-1407?
Actually, the trash line now is 618-433-1128. That is our trash line office number.
The exclusive number
for trash. The office is open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3:30. If you don't want to pay your bill online, you can set it up with your bank. You can come down and see us and pay it in person, and we can chat. You can mail it. You can leave it in my mailbox. Whatever. But yeah, we're taking new customers. And then for the junk removal side, demolition and dumpsters, I handle, which is 618-781-1407.
I will be giving you a call. I got to get
You
this
got my
stuff
private
out of there.
number.
Yeah, I do. I got the line. I got the red line.
Yeah, you got the hotline.
Denise, it's always good talking to you. I hope things, the end of the year goes a little bit more smoothly.
It'll be behind us soon.
Yep. Well, I know that everything's been a little bit different, but love you to death and just keep working hard.
Same here, buddy. Don't forget, vote for us in the best of the best.
Oh, by the way, how was Pride Fest?
It was great.
I know that you guys were down there. We
had put our truck down there.
Yeah.
And they filled it up.
Oh, well, that's cool. Providing more community service.
You
can see more on how you can be a part of this great community-oriented service at sparksjunkremoval.net and reclaim your space today. Denise, thank you so much.
Thanks, buddy.
We'll take a quick break. Daily Show on a Tuesday smacks you in the face next.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey, Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got showing.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts No. 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
She better not leave me and go after Hollywood. Ooh, she got the best pudding in the neighborhood. She's mine.
Welcome back, 1022. Welcome. 9/17/2024. The city of Alton will host the Secretary of State's Mobile DMV on Tuesday at Alton City Hall from 10 to 2 today. Well, you got until 2 o'clock. Community members can stop by City Hall to take advantage of many of the DMV's regular services. The Mobile DMV travels to communities throughout Illinois to provide these services. Mayor Goins said that we are excited to partner with the Illinois Secretary of State's office to bring their new mobile DMV unit to Alton. The mobile DMV can offer help with real IDs, driver's license renewal, and correction, state IDs, vehicle registration stickers, organ and tissue donor registration, and voter registration. They accept Visa, MasterCard, Amex, and Discover Card and debit cards. If you decide to utilize the mobile DMV services, make sure you bring the necessary forms of ID. You can find a full list of acceptable documents at the Illinois Secretary of State website at ilsos.gov. And wanted to make sure that you were aware of this. Mayor Goins had one final quote: the new mobile unit will make it even easier for Alton residents to take care of the DMV needs without having to travel so far. It's 10:23. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with more of Our Daily Show. We're going to learn all about the Missouri Historical Society. We're going to be talking to Mark Sunlove, the director of Soldiers Memorial, the Soldiers Memorial Military Exhibit, the Ghost Army, the Combat Con Artists of World War II, September the 25th through January the 12th. We'll get all the details and so much more. And this is going to be held in downtown St. Louis. It's 10:23 in downtown Alton. A quick break. Daily Show smacks you in the nose next.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey, Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got a showing.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back. Daily Show hitting you in the nose on a little bit of a Tuesday morning here. We're going to be talking to Mark Sunlove here in just about 2 or 3 minutes. We're going to be talking about the Soldiers Memorial. He's the director of it. This is going to be called the Ghost Army, the combat con artist of World War II, running from September the 25th through January the 12th of next year. Now, this is about Soldiers Memorial Military Museum in downtown. It was organized by the National World War II Museum and presented by the E.L. Wagon Foundation. Additional local support was provided by the Veterans United Foundation, but just a really interesting opportunity to talk to Mark and get the latest from this. Ooh. Love to get those messages. I love when people send me messages and just say, hey, can we partner up and do cool things? You can too. CJ at RiverBender.com. Hey, we have some time on this date in history. I had to yell, sorry. On this date in 17 87, the United States Constitution was signed by 39 delegates of the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. This monumental event laid the foundation for the American political system and became a model for democratic governance worldwide. The Constitution established the framework for federal government and guaranteed fundamental rights to American citizens. It is considered one of the most influential documents in modern history, shaping political thought and governance far beyond the borders of the United States. The Battle of Antietam, also known as the Battle of Sharpsburg, was fought on September the 17th during the American Civil War. It was the bloodiest single-day battle in American history with nearly 23,000 killed. In the early days of World War II, on the state in 1939, the Soviet Union invaded eastern Poland following the secret protocol of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact signed with Nazi Germany. On 1978, after 12 days of intense negotiations, Egyptian President Anwar Sadat and Israel Prime Minister Menachem Begin signed the Camp David Accords at the White House. U.S. President Jimmy Carter served as the mediator. The historic agreement led to the Egypt-Israel peace treaty. That's a look at what's happening around the River Bend. A quick break. We'll come back with that conversation with the Soldiers Memorial after this. Looking for a fun free day out with the family? Head to the Mississippi Earth Tones Festival at the Alton Amphitheater Saturday, September 21st. From noon to 10, enjoy 100 booths with environmental education, interactive art experiences, and performances, along with great local food and beverages. Emerge in the art, food, vendors, and music, and be heard by celebrating our incredible river. It's free, it's fun, and it's happening Saturday, September 21st at the Alton Amphitheater.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit villagedispo.com and shop now.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
I'll tell you once more before I get off the floor. Don't bring me down. You wanna stay out with your fancy friends. I'm telling you it's gotta be the end. Don't bring me down.
Oh, welcome in. Daily Show hitting you at 10:33 and some change on the 17th day of September. This is going to be a great conversation. I got to get this microphone back in front of me. Mark, good morning to you, sir. We have the Director of Soldiers Memorial, Mark Sundelove, on the line here. Did I say that right, sir?
Yeah, you got it, CJ.
Oh,
Thank
man. Mark, normally I botch one thing in interview, and I was getting nervous.
You got it.
Well, the other day, James and I were talking about this really great opportunity coming down the pipeline starting on September the 25th. Ghost Army, the combat con artist of World War II. And Mark, right off the bat, could you take me through an overview of what this is all about?
Sure. Yeah. This exhibit is coming to Soldiers Memorial from the National World War II Museum, a very well-renowned museum down in New Orleans. So it's a traveling exhibit coming to us. We're really proud to have it on exhibit. Like you said, it opens September 25th. The history of the Ghost Army is absolutely fascinating, and it's a story that the more you learn, the more fascinating it becomes. It's really engrossing, and I think one thing that really captivates people is that it's a story that very, very few people know. It was their activities during World War II were highly classified up until 1996. So anybody who's a little bit older did not get this in school, and never heard of this. Didn't learn about their important role in the D-Day invasion and the weeks and months immediately following the invasion. What they were doing there in Europe.
Well, and honestly, Mark, I have literally no idea about this. Whenever I was reading over some of the details, I was blown away. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around what this truly was because of this. I mean, it was the first mobile multimedia tactical deception unit in the U.S. Army. And so what did their task look like?
What their mission was basically to make fools out of the Germans, and they were there to convince the Germans that there was a real fighting unit where they actually were, and they did this through a number of different ways. And what really makes them unique is that deception has been a part of warfare, since warfare, but they were, the first time that there was really a unit that was their sole and only job was to, like you said, to create this mobile multimedia tactical deception. It was basically a traveling roadshow, and they approached deception. There was about 1,000 men in this unit. They had the ability to simulate 2 full divisions, so about 30,000 troops. So a 1,000, strong force able to simulate a 30,000 strong force. It's quite remarkable.
Wow. Well, and honestly, I mean, Mark, just for me, I mean, to this, and like you said, you hit it right on the head with deception always being there. But for this being in such a larger scale during World War II. Was it just one of those things where it was so kind of out there that no one really picked up on it, or were there ideas and were there tactics ever really kind of identified from the forces of Germany and all of our other enemies during that time period?
We don't think so. We don't think that the Germans ever really figured this out, that what they were dealing with was this Ghost Army. It was so tight-lipped. There's a great story, a guy named George Reed, and this story is told in the exhibit. He was a West Point graduate, and part of what this unit would do, the Ghost Army would do, is they would go into these French towns that had just been liberated. And the Germans, as they were retreating across France, would often leave behind individuals that were basically intelligence or spies in these towns. So when the U.S. forces rolled in, they had the Germans had a continuous line of communication to try to find out what the details of what the U.S. forces were doing. Anyway, George Reed, one part of what they did was they would set up these phony headquarter buildings in these towns, and they would basically play act generals and colonels and whatnot of supposed forces. And there's a story of George Reed, who was one of the Ghost Army members in one of these fake headquarters, and a classmate of his from West Point walks in. And George had only been in the service for a few years, but he's wearing full bird colonel rank, and his his classmate is just the captain. I mean, he asked George, he's like, what gives? Like, how did you make colonel so fast? Well, and George couldn't tell him. He couldn't tell him that this was all a simulation. It was all fake. And they were keeping it secret, basically from other Army units, what they were doing.
How tough would that have to be, though, on the soldiers that are a part of this, though? I mean, I'm sure you're in that position and hey, you have this mindset of no one knows, but man, for me, because I'm a talker, you know what I'm saying, Mark? It'd be hard for me to keep that secret from one of my buddies.
Yeah, right. And, I think they were just so dedicated, and they knew that for these deceptions to work, it absolutely had to be quiet. And the deceptions were conducted at such a high level of attention to detail that they were very careful and very thoughtful. One thing that's really great about this unit and really interesting about it is that it was filled with artists. There was because they were using visual deceptions, specifically a lot of inflatable tanks, inflatable howitzers, inflatable airplanes, Jeeps, the whole bit. And so the design of those was done by artists who were specifically recruited kind of into the Army for this task. So they were, they knew that what they were doing was special, and I think they took some pride in that. The pride in kind of keeping it secret and making sure that it continually worked.
And honestly, Mark, not to cut you off, but just that word you used is perfect. The work, and because that's what you're doing. You're actively working the minds of all of these folks. And, they took part in 22 large-scale deceptions. But what I'm finding fascinating, just looking at the notes again, is it was comprised of 82 officers and 1,023 men and made it and could simulate 30,000 troops. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah. And, these they basically had a 4-pronged approach to this. One was visual, so like I said, the inflatables, right? So German either aerial reconnaissance or whatnot would see these things from the air and were convinced that they were real. They also used sonic deception, and this was basically cutting edge technology at the time, but they recorded different sounds that accompany Army units as they move into position. So you might have tanks or engines, Jeeps and, sergeants yelling and all these different sounds that you would hear. And they recorded those on what we would think of as like an LP, and then they used a wire recording device, which kind of the predecessor of the cassette tape. And they would play these off of 500-pound speakers on the back of Jeeps and these half-track vehicles. And so that was, the visual, the sonic deception. Then they did a lot of radio calls and Morse code. And they, when you hear your favorite guitarist, you can almost, the sound of the guitar, right?
Right.
That guitarist plays it a little differently. Well, the same thing happened with Morse code. They call it your fist. And that's kind of the way that you transmit Morse code. So the Ghost Army would stay with the unit that they were going to mock, or not mock, but mimic. And they would learn the fist of these different Morse code operators. So when that real unit would get up and leave, the Ghost Army would stay behind, and they would continue like the real unit was there. And the Germans could not tell the difference between the Morse code operators and the radio calls and all that. And then the fourth option, or the fourth approach to this, they called special effects. And these were things like wearing the correct patches and painting the correct unit ID numbers on their Jeeps and vehicles that they had. So when Germans or spies or intelligence saw these, they were convinced that it was an actual unit. This incredible level of detail and filled with these artists. And the exhibit has a lot of great artwork that these guys were doing in their downtime, while they were in Europe. It's really a great exhibit.
What it shows too, honestly, Mark, is the fact that, I think for so many, we always just have this one idea of what war looks and sounds like. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity, especially because, Mark, I'm 25 years old, and there's, we've had a lot of new additions to my history book when I was in school, but nothing about this. And for, really for families to go in and even younger people too, to learn about how this operated, this is really eye-opening. I mean, this really shows you a whole nother component of and concept of a war that normal, everyday people aren't going to think about.
Yeah, and, one of the messages that we try to share at Soldiers Memorial is this idea of service and kind of sacrifice. So you have these artists during World War II who were, maybe they weren't going to be fighting, maybe that wasn't what they were interested in, but they were finding a way to serve in kind of their own unique role, right? So they're using their skills to serve their country and really in saving lives, right? And that's the effect that the Ghost Army ultimately has, is they estimate that they saved 15 to 30,000 lives of forces that, because the Germans basically didn't know where the actual forces were, and therefore those guys were able to operate with more freedom and less attention from the Germans. So,
well, I'm sure
it's pretty interesting story.
Well, Mark, I'm sure, for it's one of those things where just such an invaluable asset. I got a question. Did the landscape of Europe help with the Ghost Army and maybe the terrain or maybe some of the places they were at and some of these towns and municipalities? Did any of that really come into play when how they were setting these up, or maybe where they took part in their next, deception?
Yeah, I think so. I think they approached it, almost like a stage, right? And they using the environment that they were in, they certainly used that to their benefit. And they were thoughtful, right? So you think about these inflatable tanks. Well, you can't just put out a bunch of inflatable tanks in an open field, right? Because the Germans would know that that's not how a real army unit operates. So what they would do is they were trying to do two things simultaneously. One, convince the Germans that these were real, this was real equipment, but also they had to try to hide it, right? Because you would do that normally with real things, right? You would camouflage them. So they're trying to do both things simultaneously, and they were just, one thing that's really another important part of this story is these guys were learning as they went along. There was no textbook.
Yeah.
There was no manual. They had to figure this all out.
They were literally told good luck. Kind of. Yeah.
Right. Make this work. That's, and they did. And it's a great part of the story, that perseverance, the, things that we all need to do to get by in life, right? Learn from our mistakes, improve, get better. They were doing this at a wartime pace. It's just a really remarkable.
Well, and a couple of points to that too. I mean, just to follow up with where you were just going with that. I mean, sometimes, in life, just like these guys, you're thrown off in the deep end and saying, "Hey, this is the first time we're doing this. We got to learn," and you just got to do it. Just like in life, you got to get up and keep persevering, like these guys did, and it's brilliant. Now, Mark, I got a question, and I don't know if you can give me the answer. It's just something that I'm thinking about, topically with this. Did they have to be pretty tactical on where they were putting on these large-scale deceptions? Because I could only imagine if there's a real excursion getting ready to take place, you wouldn't want that team anywhere near the actual incursion.
Yeah. They ran into a couple of these situations in their operations. One was in Brest, France, and they. Because it was so, they basically had attracted so much German attention, and then a real army unit moved into position basically where they were, and because the Ghost Army had already attracted attention, it made the German attack that much more fierce and deadly to those U.S. soldiers. So it's an instance where, and this is one of their earliest operations, where there was, basically, the fog of war, right? The miscommunication between units and whatnot, that led to a dangerous situation. Later, in Bettenberg, Operation Bettenberg, they were basically on the close to the German border, And Patton, his Third Army had a very large hole in the line, basically about 70 miles long. The Germans could have very easily have punched through there and, encircled to come around behind Patton's unit. But the Army put the Ghost Army in that position and convinced the Germans that the 6th Armored Division was there. And so they never attacked. And, that's an instance where, the Army's using them tactically to make sure that, the rest of the operation is going as well as possible.
Honestly, Mark, that to me is that's where I'm really fascinated about too, is just the operation side alone with this really X factor in play here that no one really knew about, And now I got a question. I keep looking back on the screen. We have mohistory.org/exhibits/ghost-army on the screen now. Is this one of the inflatable tanks that the soldier's standing next to?
Yes. Yep. So you can see the inflatable tank there, and unfortunately, none of those original inflatables exist. So the inflatables that are in the exhibit are reproductions, but they give you a very good idea of how they worked and operated. Yeah.
Mark, honestly, I'm not even being funny to you just because you're on the line. I did not realize that was an inflatable tank until I started putting 2 and 2 together, and I had you on knowing what we were talking about today.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
really
for
cool.
being inflatable, that's pretty darn realistic.
Yeah. That's another thing that they had to figure out, right? These things didn't exist. They weren't handed inflatable tanks. They had to think about how to design these and learn, what type of design is going to work, right? Because it's got to be strong, it's got to be lightweight, it's got to be mobile. How do you design and build these things to make sure that you can use them in the field, right? In a wartime setting. So that's another thing that they had to figure out, and they did. It's just a fascinating story.
Well, and honestly, it's one of those too where it just shows you how all of those skills of artists and how important that is, because you're right, you couldn't just have this bright green inflatable truck out there. It's got to look the part too. And that's
right.
Really fascinating. And, wanted to talk about, as we keep this conversation rolling here, Mark, the exhibit opens September the 21st. It runs through January the 12th. But take me through some of the highlights that we can experience, as a family or just by ourselves.
I think for the family perspective, certainly the inflatables. I think both the adults and the kids are going to, just love seeing those. I think what's very different about this exhibit than a lot of stuff that we typically do at Soldiers Memorials, there's a lot of artwork in the exhibit, and I think it's very revealing as to what these guys were experiencing. Right? Soldiers in wartime, there's always downtime, right? No matter what's going on, there's always time in camp, and a lot of guys will play cards or, just chat or whatever, but these guys were artists. So they were sketching what they saw. They were sketching themselves. They were sketching each other. And a lot of that stuff is in the exhibit. And it's very fascinating. Yeah. There's a great interactive with oral histories that were recorded with individuals of the Ghost Army. And, it's so unique that there's humor in it, right? It's war, but there's still humor, because what they were doing was so different and sometimes seemingly almost absurd, right? But it was working. But so as they tell their own stories, I think these guys get a kick out of themselves even, and it's great. There's audio interactive that plays some of the sonic deception sounds that were in the that they were using for the deception. Also a Morse code interactive, so the kids can learn how to do a little Morse code and pound out some messages. And then of course lots of the stories of the individuals, their training, the different operations, all of those more detailed stories are in there as well.
Well, and I wanted to highlight this, a really special presentation by author, filmmaker Rick Beyer on November the 24th at 2 p.m. What will this be about?
So Rick is he's the guru of the Ghost Army. Rick has written the book on the Ghost Army. He has produced and directed the PBS documentary on the Ghost Army, which is fantastic.
Wow.
And then so he's coming to to give our presentation, sign books, and kind of walk us through. And this has been 20 years of Rick's life. Learning this story, sharing it with others. So it'll be an excellent presentation.
That's incredible. And is the what's the cost to get in?
Cost is free. Soldiers Memorial is always free. This Ghost Army exhibit's free. Plus, there's also our more of our permanent gallery, which looks at the history of the St. Louis region in conflicts, everything from the Revolutionary War up through today. And of course, then there's the outdoor memorial aspects as well. So it's a really special place in downtown St. Louis. Certainly, I love to get up to Alton and over to Illinois and visit there and all the wonderful things there. And I hope that folks can come over to the other side of the river. It's not a wall, remember, it's just a river. So come on over, visit.
I'm only laughing, Mark, because I did a show with Ray Hartman in St. Louis for a few years, and he always would tell my first kind of tiff. He goes, "When you go out of town, where do you tell people you're from?" Okay, yeah, you're right, St. Louis. We're just like 10 minutes away, and guys, get out here. I know that you're going to want to stop by. The physical address is 1315 Chestnut Street in St. Louis. For more information on the exhibit and hours and more, mohistory.org/Ghost Army. Mark Sundelov, the director of Soldiers Memorial. Man, thank you so much for this time. I know I told you 10 minutes. I took you 23, I think, but man, just really cool to get this information out, and what a great exhibit.
Yeah, thanks so much, CJ. I appreciate the time and opportunity to share some of the story of the Ghost Army, and hope to see lots of folks out at the exhibit.
I'm going to stop by for sure, Mark. It was my pleasure, and you're welcome back on the program anytime.
Hey, thanks, CJ. You take care.
Not a problem. At 10:55, a little bit of change. We'll take a quick break. More of our daily show rolls around the corner as we wrap up the Tuesday that was. Looking for a fun, free day out with the family? Head to the Mississippi Earth Tones Festival at the Alton Amphitheater Saturday, September 21st. From noon to 10, enjoy 100 booths with environmental education, interactive art experiences, and performances, along with great local food and beverages. Emerge in the art, food, vendors, and music, and be heard by celebrating our incredible river. It's free, it's fun, and it's happening Saturday, September 21st at the Alton Amphitheater.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit villagedispo.com and shop now.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof, because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Oh, play me some mountain music like Grandma and Grandpa used to play. Then I'll float on down the river to Cajun Hideaway. Drift away like Tom Sawyer. Ride a raft with old Huck Finn.
Welcome back, Daily Show, as we are wrapping up the Tuesday that was. We got a great show for all of you tomorrow. We're going to be talking to the Great Junior Service League of Greater Alton. We're going to be talking to Lacey McDonald. We're going to be talking to Marquette Catholic, so you could win $50,000 on the mega raffle. Join me so you can find out how. Until then, have a great day. Just try your best to stay out of jail.